It's time to pick a side. The Border War is on the air with BG and TanMan.
Everyone out in podcast land, welcome to episode 67 of The Border War.
That's not a place.
What?
There's no such thing
There is a thing as podcast land.
Is that on a flat earth?
You've never been there?
No.
Did you see the Kyrie Irving thing?
Yes,
I'm sorry about
I thought I was surprised to not see that on our schedule for today.
I'm like, no, Kyrie, no. I don't know what to believe anymore.
Because that was the reason you believed, right? Because of Kyrie Irving.
He made some excellent points. Welcome into another week, or another episode of The Border War. I'm TanMan. I'm here with BG.
Oh, boy.
And we're going to dive into the Major League Baseball playoffs.
Go Braves!
They are officially underway now. The Cubs are officially gone.
But look, we just talked about this before we started the show. Major League Baseball and the network's not probably very happy about that.
No, I'm sure that they had said...
The Colorado Rockies don't bring quite the fan base that the Cubbies do.
I'm sure they were tripping over themselves at the idea of a Cubs-Yankees World Series. That is not to be. BG, let's start off with the Braves.
Listen, I'm going to say it one more time, man. Don't do it. Don't do it.
The Braves are in their first playoff series since 2013.
Yeah.
And, of course, they have to play the same team that beat the brakes off of them in 2013.
Oh.
The L.A. Dodgers, Game 1, Thursday night in L.A.
Good news is most 4 of these games, if it goes 7, will be on the road, whereas that's where the Braves like to win games.
Yeah.
You don't want home field advantage if you're Atlanta.
Real quick, the series, Game 1, of course, so we just mentioned it, Thursday in L.A., Game 2 on Friday. Game 3 is Sunday in Atlanta, and 4 and 5, if necessary, are Monday in Atlanta and on Wednesday back in L.A.
Of course, the big news starting off here, the Dodgers announced yesterday that Clayton Kershaw will not pitch Game 1. That Ryu, am I saying that right? I even looked up online.
Ryu.
The Dodgers don't know how to say it. Like there's all these interviews with players on the team, like asking how do you say it. None of them say the same thing. So apparently he hasn't told them how to say his name either.
Wow.
Maybe he doesn't know how to say it.
Yeah, maybe he's comfortable with it. Gee, you mentioned Ryu pitching Game 1, Kershaw Game 2. I'm looking at Ryu's stats. Ryu.
I went with Ryu. Ryu.
He comes off the disabled list in mid-August. Since then, he's got a 1.88 ERA.
7-1, I think, right?
53 strikeouts, 5 walks, and 52 2/3 innings. I think this is a calculated risk by Dave Roberts in doing that. But
and
to me, what it says is the Braves aren't going to beat us. We pitch Kershaw in Game 2. That means he's ready to start Game 1 of the NLCS and give you 2, 3 if you really wanted to push it in the next round. To me, this says Dave Roberts and the Dodgers were just flat and not worried about Atlanta.
Okay, couple of questions here. One, do you not agree that even though Ryu's been lights out, you are making a risk because the playoffs and those lights, that's 2 different things, man.
It is.
It is not the same.
Well, we've seen the playoff lights and the playoff pressure be too big for Clayton Kershaw sometimes.
And that was actually going to be my next point.
Yeah.
Clayton Kershaw, he got off the snide a little bit last year, but up until that point, we spent 40 minutes last year on the Border War talking about Clayton Kershaw and how really you felt like the whole series revolved around him. And honestly, I kind of feel like that's the case again. I have a hard time thinking that if Kershaw goes out and beats the Braves twice, that they have much of a chance. But he hasn't always done that.
No.
And he hasn't been great since July this year. I think some of it is right. You may be right, but some of this I was going to ask. I guess you've already answered that question, but I was going to say, do you think this is a vote of confidence for Ryu, or do you think it's a strategy, which you just said you thought it was, or is this sort of saying maybe Kershaw's not our guy right now? Maybe we need to just
Dave Roberts knows where his bread is buttered. It's with Kershaw. I think this is totally a strategic move. They're betting on they're going to get past Atlanta.
Just going to throw out there that the last time the Dodgers won a World Series was 1988, and they won 104 games last year.
Well, hey, look, the best teams in baseball don't always win the World Series.
That's baseball.
For Atlanta, they're going Mike Foltynewicz in Game 1. It seems to me like we spent years trying to force Julio Teheran into that ace role.
He had one really good year.
One really good year. I think he started a game the last time that they made the playoffs. I think it was his first full year as a starter, and of course he got rocked then, so he doesn't really have a lot of playoff experience to draw on. But I don't know if they've come out with it as we're recording this on Wednesday afternoon. I don't know if they've come out with the rest of their rotation yet. My guess is Teheran is probably going to start game 2. He just has always seemed to be a little bit more comfortable on the road. And if that's the case, Teheran, he's got a sub-3 ERA in August and September. So, yeah, I think starting Teheran in game 2 would be the right move to make. And if you're able to steal one of those, if you're able to steal game 1.
Absolutely.
Then...
How do you like the faulty move? I love it.
No, I love it.
I think it's good managing, and like you said, I think it takes some pressure off of Teheran, right?
Right.
And Foltynewicz has had that kind of year, man. He's earned this start.
He's had a big year. What are your thoughts on the possibility of Dansby Swanson not making the trip, not being involved in this series because of that hand? Because
it's hard to get a straight answer about it. The fact that they flew him back to Atlanta,
I don't think he's going to play.
I think you may be right.
I don't think he's going to play. He said this weekend he tried to take a few casual swings and the pain in his hand was just too much. He couldn't do it. So I don't think he's going to play. Keep in mind,
though, now you mean out in L.A.
I don't think he's I don't think he's going to play in this series. I think
okay. So if the Braves were to win this series, you think he might be okay?
If they were to win the series, I think he may come back for the NLCS. I think Charlie Culberson's probably going to be the man to take his spot. Culberson, 282.
Does Charlie Culberson not have the feel of the kind of guy like a Mark Lemke that could just go off in the playoffs? Can't you hear yourself saying, can't you remember Charlie Culberson back in 18?
Didn't he come over from the Dodgers mid-season?
He did.
I looked for Culberson to start in Swanson.
As did the Braves general manager. Is that a storyline? How much does he know? Does he understand some things? I don't know.
Well, if he's got any inside secrets, given the Braves' recent track record with trying to skirt the rules in Major League Baseball, maybe they should keep those to themselves. What's a successful series for Atlanta in this?
Well,
because my gut is telling me, look, they're probably going to. They're a year ahead of schedule to begin with. My gut is they're probably going to get swept. But I think if they win a game and they lose to the Dodgers 3-1, I'm okay with that.
Let me throw some thoughts out there rather than answering your question, because I wrote all this stuff down and I don't want my work to go to waste. You're welcome to just close your eyes. I mean, if you want to take a nap while I'm talking, I mean that's fine.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming that you have some talking points that we can discuss.
I have it. Well, you looked bored already, so I was just.
Nah.
I caught you a little.
Then
off
you're like, I'm not answering your question.
Well, I mean, if I answer your question, that's kind of the last thing you would say, though, right? Like that's a prediction.
All right.
Okay, so Braves lost 5 of 7 to LA in the regular season. And what I meant to do, and I did not, was to go back and find out where those games were played.
They lost 2 of 3. I think they lost 2 or 3 in Atlanta, and they lost 3 or 4 in LA. Or that might be vice versa.
Okay, so if they lost a lot in LA, that's what I wanted to know.
I know one of them was the Sean Newcomb almost no-hitter.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that.
One of them was the Newcomb's almost no-hitter.
Now, you would agree with this. I think the Braves have benefited from a relatively weak division. The Nationals came on strong at the end. The Phillies really disappointing season. The Mets just fell apart. Right. And then, of course, there are the Marlins.
You heard a lot about the Phillies. Somehow the Phillies wound up below 500.
Yes, in third place.
Yeah, all the Phillies are challenging for the division, and they wound up below 500.
I think this series is Clayton Kershaw's to win or lose. I mean, like I literally think that if the Braves can compete in this division, it's because Kershaw goes out and chokes. I mean, so if he doesn't do that, I don't think they have much of a chance at all. So, in other words, I don't think there's a lot the Braves can do to win it, but I think there are some things the Dodgers can do to lose it, if that makes sense.
Well, the good thing is you're only going to get Kershaw once in this series.
True,
You're only going to have to deal with him once. It's not, you don't have, if you can win game 1, then you're kind of playing with house money a little bit because you don't have that threat of seeing Kershaw again on the back end of the series.
Now, the one advantage the Dodgers have had all season, in my opinion, is their depth. When you look at their 1 through 25, they probably got the most talent of anybody in the majors except for the Red Sox. Okay, in this kind of a series, I don't know that depth matters as much. Now, this is my contention, that Atlanta's 1 through 8 matches up with just about everybody in baseball. I think in short little bursts, the Braves lineup and pitching staff can compete with anybody. So I do think they have a puncher's chance. That being said, my prediction is actually the Dodgers in 6. I think the Braves win a couple of games.
They win a couple games.
And I think that's...
Dodgers are going to win the 5-game series in 6 games.
It is a 5-game series. I was wondering why you said that Clayton.
Look,
well, it's like Clayton Kershaw's going to pitch twice. It's 7 games.
Atlanta, they
It'll be a world-breaking,
it'll be unbelievable.
No one they will tie so often.
The back half of that, I think Atlanta started off really strong. They caught a lot of people by surprise early. Just a game above 500 the last 43 games. If they could get into the Dodgers bullpen, because between Walker Buehler, Ryu, Clayton Kershaw, Adam Hill.
Easy for you to say.
Their starting rotation is it's as good as any in baseball. Kenley Jansen was lights out last year, which is a big reason why they were able to make that run. He gave up twice as many home runs this year. I think he was at 18, almost 20 home runs this year. So if they can get into the Dodger bullpen, I think Jansen gave up a couple homers in the 9th inning in the play-in game with the Rockies the other night. And they were up by several runs, so like I said, he's kind of playing with house money. But Jansen can be gotten to if you can get into that pen a little bit.
Don't you? I mean, I think the Braves need this to become a scoring contest, don't they? I mean, they need to tee off on Dodger pitching. They don't want to be in 2-2 games and 3-2 games.
No.
They need to score runs.
Like I said, the gut feeling, if I was laying an important amount of money on it, I'd probably take Dodgers in 3. If Atlanta can steal a game somewhere in there, I'd love for it to be Game 3 at home.
I'm
the first home
with my
playoff
prediction.
game.
Dodgers in 6 games.
I'd love for them to be able to steal that first playoff game at home, because I think Sunday. The only thing I hate is that all the times that have been announced, 1, 2, and 3, they're all like 8:30 ball games. There's no 4:00 afternoon games.
Tell you this though, if it somehow
I'll
goes
take Dodgers
to
in 4.
If it goes to that 5th game, the Braves, they've got the feel of that team, man, like Acuna. Those guys, man, if they catch fire, they can be a dangerous team. And
go back and see the 2003 Florida Marlins with Josh Beckett.
And we've talked about that. We've compared them to them all year. And I'm telling you, I heard some comments, in broken English by the Dodgers this morning. They're a confident bunch, and I'm being friendly.
I saw what Yasiel Puig is.
Yeah, Puig. I mean, he definitely, he's very excited, and he called Atlanta out. And okay. I mean, you may be right, but it's still probably better to not do that. But we'll see.
The other division series in the National League, the Rockies, fresh off of their wild
this is
card.
a 7-game series, right? The Braves are the only 5-game series. Is that the way this works?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm just at this point, I'm trying to salvage my embarrassment.
Your world has been rocked. The Rockies, they beat the Cubs in the wild card playoff game the other night. Save us all from another Cubs run in the playoffs. The Milwaukee Brewers, how big? This is what got me. The Brewers and the Cubs were playing a ball game the other night to see who wins the division. The winner is the top seed and will have home field advantage throughout the National League playoffs, and the loser has to go to a wild card play-in game, man.
How weird. I mean, and I know you hate the Cubs. I know you hate them. But doesn't it feel weird that they're not even in the playoffs with the record they have? Has the Major League Baseball, have we gotten into the same situation and the same discussion we had about the NBA? What did these divisions actually mean? I mean, they play a bunch of games. I get that, but the Cubs won more games than the Braves did. There you are.
Well, look, and here's the thing:
and it's one game in baseball.
The Cubs, of course, they tied for the best record in the National League.
Yes,
and they went to the wild card game. The Yankees are the wild card, one of the wild card teams in the American League. If they were to make the World Series, the Yankees would have home field advantage in the World Series over anybody in the National League because they had a better record.
Yeah.
The wild card team would have home field advantage over the Milwaukee Brewers. Anyway, Rockies and Brewers, Milwaukee was 6 games back of the Cubs on August the 28th. Their bullpen was lights out in September. That, spoiler alert, that's going to be a big theme for my baseball take the rest of the episode here. Bullpen lights out. The Rockies, they had to play the one game with the Dodgers in LA. Then they had to fly to Colorado, to Chicago, and play the Cubs. Now they're having to play the Brewers again. I'm going to take the Brewers in this one.
Yeah, I think the Brewers have the momentum, and like you said, the Rockies, I don't know, they don't feel like a complete team. I think you saw that last night, given they're up against a dominant pitcher. But the Brewers feel like a more complete team, and like you said, with the better bullpen.
In the American League, of course, you've got the Yankees tonight taking on the A's. The Yankees setting records for home runs.
Don't do it.
The A's not far behind. I think the A's were third in the league in home runs this year. That's a quiet. They're in the division with the Astros, who are the World Series champions.
I hate these 1-game things, man. I don't even like the 5-game things. That's probably why I messed that up, because I just wish they were all 7 games. The 5-game series seems too short. The 1-game series feels like a joke.
Yeah,
I hate it.
The Oakland A's, it seems like they've been out there and they've just been slept on, man. That is a good baseball team. With that said, and I'm probably going to ruin the whole episode here, because if I say it, the Yankees are going to go out and lose tonight, and everything I say from this point on will not matter. But I'm going to take the Yankees to win tonight, and that leaves you with a Yankees-Red Sox matchup in the division series. I think these two basically split the series over the year. The Red Sox might have beaten them by a game. That pitching staff is not on fire like it was to start. Give me the Yankees advancing to the ALCS in this one. Yankees over the Red Sox in the division series.
Okay. You did look at their season series, right?
I think I saw somewhere it was a 1 game apiece or something like that.
I'm going to go with the Athletics to beat the Yankees tonight, and then to lose to the Red Sox.
Okay. The other one, a little more, at least we know who's going to play in that one in the American League. The Astros.
This is probably the best series.
And the Indians, I agree with you. This is
the series, if you're a baseball fan, that you really want to watch.
More than the Red Sox and Yankees.
Well, I mean, I said I'm tired of the Red Sox and the Yankees, man. I feel like they're on every 3 days.
I get it.
I think there's a lot of fatigue in the South, especially. I get
it. Start us off. Who wins, Astros or Indians?
Oh boy, I went with the Indians to win the whole World Series last year. That clearly did not work out. You know what? I'm gonna ride the Astros this year. I think I am going to pick the Houston Astros, and then I might do something reckless with the Houston Astros. We'll just see.
I agree. I'm going to take the Astros to beat the Indians. The Indians rotate. They've still got Corey Kluber in there. Still got Trevor Bauer in there. If you recognize those names, they were key names in that World Series failure against the Cubs a couple years ago. The American League Central was terrible. I mean, you're talking the White Sox and the Twins.
Yes.
They were terrible. Outside of the American League Central, the Indians were 42-44. Meanwhile, the Astros were in a slugfest all year long with the A's and with the Mariners.
And we've had this discussion over and over. Does momentum matter going into the playoffs? And I think we've kind of proven that it really doesn't. It should, but it doesn't.
The Astros offense is not quite the juggernaut it was last year, but you look across and you still got...
It's still good enough.
It's still good enough, and you still got Justin Verlander and Dallas Keuchel and Charlie Morton. And, they went out of Garrett Cole this offseason, so that pitching staff is still loaded. So that leaves us... I've got the Dodgers and the Brewers in the NLCS, and then I've got the Yankees and Astros in the ALCS.
I've got the Astros and the Red Sox in the ALCS, and the Dodgers and the Brewers in the NLCS.
All right, we'll start in the NLCS. Dodgers or Brewers, man?
I'm going to go with the Dodgers. I mean, I know I'm going chalk, but I mean, they should have done this last year, right? I think they're that good of a team. They have all the ingredients. They've got the bullpen. I just think they're like the Brewers are a more complete team than the Rockies. I think the Dodgers are a more complete team. And with Kershaw, if he's on, they're certainly equipped better to win.
If he gets to pitch more than once.
Okay, you know what? I made a mistake. I made a mistake because I have complained to you for years about 5-game series. I think I just blocked it out of my head because I hate them so much.
Here we go. I'm going to Milwaukee Brewers to advance to the World Series.
And I tell you what, I would love that.
I'm going to Milwaukee Brewers. I think Milwaukee
do you
has.
not love their old logo though? Can we not
They
go
need to
back
leave
to that, man? That old logo,
the glove and the baseball in it.
Is that like hops on there now, like the beer? And
Yeah.
I get it, but come on, man. It's a piece of grain.
Give me the Dodgers or the Brewers to knock off the Dodgers, head to the World Series. Just because generally in baseball, you don't see teams make repeat runs. I know the Royals lost the World Series one year and came back and won it the next.
The Giants and the Royals were like trading off for a few years.
But the Dodgers have got some scar tissue, man. The Brewers don't have any.
Yeah.
And if it gets tight,
well, after an exhausting 7-game series with the Braves too, and the Brewers only have to play a 5-game series. I'm just going to hang on to that, man. No, I get what you're saying. But I just think it should matter in my mind that the Dodgers are a better team. No. But you're right. In a 5-game series, man, sometimes it does not matter.
I think Christian Yelich is on fire. This guy, he might be the National League MVP. I think he's going to do enough.
I'm all messed up again. This will be a 7-game series.
Their bats are going to carry them to the World Series. On the American League side, I've got the Yankees and the Astros. Last year, the Yankees were up 3-2, heading to Houston, only needing one to head to the World Series. They lost both of them, both really competitive. Man, that was a great series. This year, the Yankees get it done, man. Last year, the Yankees were ahead of schedule a little bit, kind of like the Braves this year.
Yeah.
This year, the Yankees get it done. They are going to just smash their way. And if Severino and Masahiro Tanaka just ran circles around the Astros in the playoff series last year, if those guys could just give them 5-6 innings with the Yankees bats, they're going to smash their way through the American League playoffs, in my opinion. Now I've got the Brewers and the Yankees headed to the World Series.
All right. I'm going to take the Astros over the Red Sox in 7 games in the ALCS, and I will take the Astros to beat the Dodgers in the World Series.
So repeat. All right, BG.
Yep. I'm feeling it.
I'm doing it.
I
don't like to do it,
man.
I don't want to do it.
They're going to lose tonight.
I know they are.
That's going to be the end.
And you know what? I'm okay with that.
But we've never tried this. We've never actually tried to preempt the border war curse by calling for it. So this is new.
This is the border war curse is real. The struggle is
Ask
real.
Ask Kelly Bryant if it's real.
I'm going to take the Yankees to win. What is it? World Series? Was it 27, 28? I know the Yankee fans.
I think 14 of those are illegitimate. So, yeah.
Yankees over the Brewers in the World Series. That's my pick. So, with that said,
the Yankees are like Gaffney football, man. Half the stuff they claim doesn't even. It's fictional.
With that said, go A's. I'm putting the border war curse to the test. That's it for.
That way you win either way, right?
That's it. I win it.
It's like Cowherd always says: bet money on the team you want to lose and pull for the team you want to win.
Like I said, in last night's game, it went to about 1:30. So in about 6 hours, if everything we've said for the last 20 minutes of this show is completely wrong because of that, then I'm okay with it.
So it went to 1:30 a.m.
Yeah, it was.
Major League Baseball's confused why young people don't like baseball.
Yeah, it's absurd. That's it for episode 67. Make sure you follow BG at BG_Border War. Follow me at TanMan3264. And follow the show at The Border War. Make sure you like and share our post on Facebook. We'll put our links up and an occasional comment on Facebook as well. So post those, tell your friends, help us win the war.
Go Braves. Braves in 7, maybe 8.
You should just stop, man. Stop.